Okay. Hello, Engy. Thank you so much for taking the time to share the story with us. Could you please introduce yourself?
Um, Hello, this is Engy. I'm a pharmacist from Egypt. I started my journey around a year and a half ago, my journey of trying to immigrate to Canada. My journey started with studying French for TCF. It took me a year to reach A2 level in French, but then I decided to stop studying French and shift to IELTS because I thought for me it would be like better option to take IELTS at the moment.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, what was the most difficult part about preparing for the TCF?
Well, I was studying French from scratch because then I haven't learned French in my life before, so it was kinda difficult to navigate the language. It was basically something totally new to me. So I think I needed more time to be strong in the foundations or fundamentals of the language. So that's why I think it took me around a year to reach A2 level, while some people might take the exam in like 9 months or a year. It's different from one person to another. Um, but it took me time to get some familiar with the language. Um, and also the listening and speaking part wasn't as easy for me. So this is why I decided okay, maybe let's try with eyelids and see what's gonna happen.
Okay. So now, with the scores that you received, well, first of all, could you please share your target scores and the scores that you received on the IELTS?
I got 7 for writing and reading, 8 for listening, 7.5 for speaking.
Okay. And those were the target scores that you needed? Oh,
The target was 7 in all bands except for listening. It was required 8.
I see.
So I was happy that I got the score from the first time, honestly.
For sure, for sure. I can imagine that. Okay. All right. And how were you preparing for IELTS before you joined the Passu?
I was basically navigating the online resources that's there on the internet, like YouTube videos, online websites for tips and tricks on different sections of IELTS. I think it was fine for listening and reading because it's basically around the same tips and tricks and techniques. It just you need to practice and do more exams. But it wasn't alright for me with writing. Writing honestly was the most challenging part for me because the different websites I checked on the internet, they were fine with introductions, but none of them took me really more in depth when it comes to the structure of the essays, more in depth details about the criteria of the exam in general, or the essay itself of task 1 and 2. So that was challenging for me before trying or starting with Vessel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the most difficult part to prepare for, as you said, was writing, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
Okay. I see. I see. And can you tell me what you did differently after you started preparing with us with Passu?
Yeah, it was totally different with Basu because it was more organized and more in depth. Like first of all, Basu got me more in details about the criteria of the exam and what the examiner is looking for in the exam. I didn't know about the 4 criteria that the examiner is looking for, like grammar accuracy, lexical resource, for example, cohesion and coherence, etc. So that was very important to pay attention to while I'm writing. Also, I knew from the beginning that there's a certain structure I have to follow while writing any essay. Like for example, introduction, paragraph 1, 2, in conclusion. I never paid attention to the structure of each paragraph itself. I didn't know that there is a topic sentence, for example, and it should be followed by explanation, example, conclusion, and so on. So I didn't know that, and when you guys told me about it, and you pay my attention to it, it was a great help while I'm writing because now my writing could be more concise, more organized. And also, the evaluations that we had together, like whether it's the one evaluations or like the essays I had to submit on the platform, were also of a great help. Because I pay my attention to my mistakes, like Angie's mistakes in specific, like not general mistakes that people do, like Angie's mistakes in specific. So that was very important to pay attention to. Like at some point, I created a page with the all the mistakes I do, so I can pay attention to and not repeat it again. And that was also very important. Also, the model answers helped me because, like, I couldn't write like 100 essays in the month I was preparing in. Like, I think I wrote about 15 or 16 essays. So, like, the model answers helped me to navigate different types of essays that could be in the exam. So the model answers were also of help.
Amazing, amazing. Okay. And could you share with others? You sort of mentioned it, but could you share how long it took you to prepare for the IELTS, like from start to the date when you actually took the exam and got the scores that you needed?
Well, I would say it was around month and a half or 2 months. Like in the first month, I was trying to, as I told you, to look different resources and websites and everything.
Mm.
Like I would say, the second month I was more focused. Like with writing and speaking, I was more focused with you guys. So I didn't need to check any other website or resource. For listening and reading, I was more focused on doing exams in general, like the Cambridge exams in specific. I didn't do anything else, and I think that's how or that's why like I was able to achieve the target. But like I would say, what greatly helped me is the writing, because if I didn't get the writing was very tricky because you could easily like switch between 6.5 and 7 very easily in a blink. So it was very tricky. So that was the most challenging part that as I say before. So getting 7 wasn't as easy. So I was really concerned if I don't get 7 at this exam of writing, I have to redo everything again. And writing is always, it depends on the examiner, the topic, the everything. So yeah.
Okay, okay. You're absolutely right. I mean, writing is the most difficult skill out of the four in the IELTS test. So, with that in mind, as someone who got the scores they needed on the first try, what advice would you give to other test takers who ideally would like to achieve the required scores on the first try? What advice would you give them?
I would say start with evaluation. Evaluate all the parts, whether with a teacher or yourself, and decide which part you need to work on the most. Like for me, in my case, it was what my weakness point was writing. And it was perfect to go to you guys because you helped me greatly with this. Like, I'm kind of person who needs to be organized when it comes to thoughts, studying, and everything. And you helped me with that. And I felt like I'm organized. Like, there's techniques that certain techniques, if I follow, I could write effectively. And it happened honestly because, like, every essay, I felt like it was better than the essay before it. Um, and also, I would say focus on the techniques in general of each section, because each section requires different skills. And it's not only about the language, as I mentioned before, like you could be excelling in the language, but like you lack the required skills, as like, for example, time management or the certain things you have to follow in each section. So I would say also focus on that. And don't get overwhelmed. IELTS could be very overwhelming, especially with the different exams around the world, and the exam takers, they have different experiences. Um, but I would say, as I said at the beginning, focus on your weakness points and seek someone to help you with and work on it.
Right,
That's it.
right. Okay. So you need some type of guidance, right? When it comes to writing in this case. Is that what you mean, right? Someone to like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I need it.
step by step.
Yeah, like when it came to writing, yes. Because but like I used AI and everything while evaluating uh my exams, but like AI never mentioned to me that I have to be caring about the topic sentence and the exact structure of each paragraph. So I didn't know that, like, unless you told me about it in a specific, like I have to pay attention to it. So I think at some point, yeah, you would need someone to help you with specific things if you wanna like really excel at it.
Right, right. Okay. Perfect, perfect. Um, okay. I guess the last question that I have for you is there anything else you would like to share with other students who are struggling with IELTS? Any other suggestions, recommendations that you would have for anyone? Not only for the writing section, but like in general. Any other tips that you have for them?
Mhm. I think what helped me the most is practicing and trying to solve or do as many exams as I can on my own,
Yeah.
and then seek evaluation, whether it is from you or model answers or whatsoever.
Yeah.
So like it's not never enough to just watch videos or read resources about how you can tackle this section, because it's like it's like a football player who never played. So you have to really go into the field and play it yourself. You have to really do as many exams as you can, so you can really know your weakness points in every section. I used to, like, after every section I do, to write my mistakes in a paper, and even if I didn't have time on the spot to really look it up or really ask you or anyone how to really tackle this question or how to do these questions, I would just write it down, so the next time I'm sitting to study, I would start with this. So I would say like practicing is the key.
Okay. Amazing, amazing. Thank you so much, Angie, for taking the time to share your story with us.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you.